Greetings, my dear viewers. It is I, Drehon, back once again with another Pathfinder hero Flux. That's Flux, short for Fluctuation. This is a parody series of my Dungeons & Dragons character conversion series, where we take famous characters from across media and convert them into playable characters for your Pathfinder games. And today we are taking another viewer request. This one is from the Owl House. Luz Noceda. Noceda. It's a D, not a T. Anyway, the protagonist of the Owl House, Luz. Starting things off, we have our starting stats. Go ahead and increase your dexterity, constitution, wisdom, and charisma. The protagonist, after all, so she kinda has to be very charismatic. Moving on, we are going with our ancestry of human, and the heritage of a skilled human. Go ahead and increase your dexterity and charisma each by 2. We have a starting hit point of 8, speed of 25 feet. We're going to select our skill, nature, and our ancestry feat is courteous comeback. Luz is going to have the background student of magic because she does reside in the Hexside Academy, the school for young witches. This will give us a +2 in our wisdom and charisma. We are trained in occultism and academia lore, and we're going to have the skill feat recognize spell. We are learning how to cast spells after all. And speaking of learning how to cast spells and studying all things arcane, we're going to the wizard class. This will give us a +2 in our intelligence. Next is going to be our hit points. Increase your hit points by 6, plus your constitution modifier. We get trained in perception as well as the saving throws, fortitude and reflex, and are an expert in will saves. For your skills, you are trained in arcana, acrobatics, deception, and stealth. For your attacks, you are trained in the club, crossbow, dagger, heavy crossbow, staff, and unarmed attacks. For defense, you are trained in unarmored defense. You are not trained in any form of armor, and I don't see why you would. You are training to be a witch after all. Next is your spellcasting. You'll be using the arcane spell list. Your save DC is a 14 as of this moment, with an attack modifier of +4. You have arcane bond and arcane thesis, which is going to be staff nexus, to sort of go with that whole staff theme that they have. Now, as for your arcane school, Luz, which arcane school did you choose?
Oh, I still can't choose. Maybe it's crazy, but I wish I could study a little bit of everything. Whoa! What's going on? What is this? Oh, this is so cool! Yeah, I'm gonna study everything!
Yeah, she went with all of them. Which, there's actually a arcane school for that. The Universalist. You literally study all schools of magic. If that isn't Luz, I do not know what is. We get a free class feat, Spellbook Prodigy. Moving on to level 2, we get the class feat of Eschew Materials, and the skill feat, Schooled in Secrets. The Eschew Materials is supposed to help us represent the glyphs that Luz creates in order to cast her spells, since she is not an actual witch who has the special organ attached to her heart. Anyway, moving on. Level 3, Expert Skill in Arcana, and we are going for the General Feat of Adopted Ancestry, Elf. This is the closest thing I could find to Ida, who is a resident of the Demon Realm. One of the witches. Literally nothing else would fit. And we have to choose a common ancestry anyway, so we're just going to have to go with Elf. Moving on to level 4, our class feat is going to be Conceal Spell, and our skill feat is going to be Arcane Sense. At level 5, go ahead and increase your Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, and Charisma each by 2. For your skills, you are now trained in Athletics and Diplomacy. For your ancestry feat, go with Wild-Born Magic. Wild Magic. Wild Witch. Wild Magic. Get it? Cool. Next, you also have Lightning Reflexes. Moving on to level 6, class feat, Hand of the Apprentice. You are technically Ida's apprentice, so that makes sense. Next, you have your skill feat, Trick Magic Item. For level 7, you get the expert skill in Academia Lore, and your general feat is Ride. You are riding your staff like a broomstick, so that makes perfect sense. And there's also a couple of other things that you have ridden, so yeah, kind of makes sense to have this. Finally, you have the Expert Spellcaster. Moving on to level 8, class feat, Advanced School Spell. And your skill feat, Quick Jump. At level 9, we are now masters in the Arcana skill, with the ancestry feat of Nimble Elf, which increases our speed by 5 feet. Forgot to put that on the slide. We also have Magical Fortitude. Level 10, go ahead and increase your Strength, Dexterity, and Constitution each by 2, and increase your Charisma by 1. Your class feat is Counterspell, and your skill feat, Cat Fall. At level 11, we are masters in Academia Lore. We have the general feat of Incredible Initiative. We also have Alertness and Wizard Weapon Expertise. Moving on to level 12, we have the class feat of Overwhelming Energy and the skill feat of Magical Shorthand. We're able to write our spells a little bit more quickly. Prepare all those special glyphs and runes. Moving on to level 13, we are now experts in athletics. We'll get the ancestry feat of Avenge Ally. We also have defensive robes and weapon specialization. Moving on to level 14, we'll get the class feat, Witch Dedication, with the patron Rune and the trained skill of Crafting and a skill feat of Powerful Leap. This Witch Dedication is supposed to help us with referencing Loz's Titan form that she gets at the end of Season 2, as well as getting her Palisman Stringbean. Why Stringbean? That is just a weird name for a Palisman. I mean, it could have been a worse name, but still. Stringbean. Anyway, moving on, we have level 15 Wizard. Go ahead and increase your Strength and your Wisdom by 2 points, and increase your Dexterity and Charisma each by 1 point. Next is your Expert skill of Acrobatics, and your General feat of Thorough Search. And you're also now a Master Spellcaster. Level 16 will get the class feat of Forcible Energy, and the skill feat of Rapid Mantle. At level 17, we are now legendary in the Arcana skill, and have the ancestry feat of Ancestral Suspicion. We also have our Resolve ability as well. Moving on to level 18, we get the class feat, Basic Witch Spellcasting, and the skill feat of Unified Theory. At level 19, we are experts in the crafting skill. In all honesty, we probably should have gotten crafting as a skill earlier on in this video, since we technically have to carve our palisman out of the palisman wood. Hindsight is 2020. Next is our general feat. Go with Fast Recovery. We have Arc Wizard Spellcraft and Legendary Spellcaster. And finally, our level 20 Wizard. Go ahead and increase your Strength, Constitution, and Wisdom each by 2, and increase your Dexterity by 1. For our class feat, we have Expert Witch Spellcasting and a skill feat of Alchemical Crafting. And that is going to do it for us today. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see a very specific character, let me know down in the comments section below who that character is and what franchise they are from. Until next time, this has been Drayhan, and I am offline.